Hello, for grammar today, we are going to be working on an editing assignment in your workbook. Please turn in your workbook to page 39. This is an entire page with an essay that contains a variety of different grammatical and spelling errors, and your job is to read through it and correct all errors. Now, before we get started, I want to direct you to the pages in your workbook that you can use as a resource. In the reference section, on pages, I'm pointing over there to where it's listed, pages 112 to 114, that is a list of all of the rules that you would need for when you would capitalize words, rules for comma usage, apostrophes, semicolons, all of those different types of editing rules. If you get stuck as we're going through this, you can always go back and look over, skim over those pages, read back through those rules. I'm going to do the first paragraph of this assignment with you to get you started, and then I'm going to have you finish it by yourself for today, and you can check your answers tomorrow. So let's start with the title, Benefits to a Paper Route. Okay. So let's look and see if there's anything wrong that we need to edit or correct. Well, I've noticed that all of the words that should be capitalized are capitalized in the title, so there's not a capitalization error. But hopefully you've noticed that the word benefits is spelled incorrectly. It's misspelled. So let's go ahead and correct that. So this first I should be an E. So we're going to strike through that, and we're going to rewrite the correct spelling above. B-E-N-E-F-I-T-S. Now, I don't know much Latin, but I do know that the word benefit comes from the Latin root bene, which means good. So you can see the relationship between benefit, which is a positive, a benefit, to the Latin root bene. All right, let's take a look at the first sentence. I need to be allowed to have a paper route. Now, do we see any errors in the first sentence? I don't see any. My subject and verb agrees. I don't see any misspelled words. I think the first sentence is okay. Let's go ahead and look at the second sentence. As most reports show, paper routes is beneficial to fifth graders. Okay, I see a couple of things. First of all, hopefully you notice that the sentence began with, as most reports show. Now that right there, I hope you recognize, is a subordinate clause. And we know this because it begins with a subordinating conjunction. And if you remember our chant for that, subordinating conjunctions introduce adverbial subordinate clauses. Clap, clap. When, while, where, as, since, if, although, whereas, unless, because. www.asia.what. So, and we also have a subject and a verb. So that is, in fact, a subordinate clause. And if it begins a sentence, it needs to be followed by a comma. So there's one mistake. As most reports show, paper routes is beneficial to fifth graders. Okay, paper routes, that's plural. So if the subject is plural, the verb needs to be plural also. Is a singular verb. So we need to change that to plural, which is are. As most reports show, paper routes are beneficial to fifth graders. Okay, that looks better. I think we've gotten our mistakes from the first one. There is 3 benefits to having a paper routes. Okay, well again, our subject of the sentence is there, and we should have a verb that agrees. There are 3 benefits. Excuse me, the benefits is the subject. Benefits is plural, so our verb needs to be plural also. So we're going to change that to are. There are 3 benefits to having a paper routes. Well, routes shouldn't be plural because you have the article adjective a, which indicates one. So we can get rid of the s on the end, and then we need an n mark. I think that's a period. It's just a declarative sentence. So let's count here and see how many errors we have corrected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first paragraph has 5 errors that we just corrected, and according to the grammar book, there are 27 total mistakes. We've corrected 5. So in the second paragraph, there are 22 additional errors to correct. So work on that by yourself today, and we'll check the answers tomorrow.